There is one thing in One Piece that I will not calculate. I'll calculate non-canon, I'll calculate canon, I'll calculate manga, I'll calculate anime. There's one thing I will not touch, and it's canon. I will not touch, I will not calculate the size of that freaking island, Onigashima. I won't calculate it. No, we're not doing that. I will not touch it. Do you know the issues that come alive because of that calculation? Because of the inconsistencies in size of that stupid island in the air? Do you know the issues that happen because of that? Do you know the calculations I've seen have such massively different results? And the problem with all of them is that they all work. The math works out for every single one of these potential calculations. So they all are correct, but none of them are right. That's the issue. I calculated the size of Onigashima by using maps and kilometers and stuff like that. My average was about 7 kilometers in diameter. Does that make sense? No, because of just everything else we've seen. But then I see some calculations for the same island that are like 40 kilometers in diameter. I'm like, what? That's a massive difference. Do you know the power scaling difference that would cause to the verse as a whole? I've calculated feats in the petaton range that use the smaller scale of Onigashima as its base. The issues I would have, the issues we would have, we would probably get into the high exaton range if we started using 40. I need to calm down. I'm sorry. Hello, Internet. Jojo here. I didn't introduce myself. Yeah, Oda gets a lot of crap for inconsistencies in his art, and he deserves every bit of it. One Piece has the most inconsistent design and heights and scale of any series I've ever seen in my entire life. But Onigashima is on a different level. It's a different beast entirely. I've spent, I kid you not, months working on trying to figure out Onigashima's size. And I've come to the conclusion that I can't because it doesn't exist. There is no standard that we can use. I've seen other people calculate this with using different methods that all work together. So my method, mathematically correct. Their method, mathematically correct. The other random guy's method, mathematically correct. It's all mathematically correct. But they're so vast and different that they're unreconcilable, right? That's really how power scaling works. To find the most reconcilable feat. And not really the most believable one, but the one that makes the most sense. This island makes no sense because in every other context, it's different. Oda might have thought he was helping us when he gave us so many freaking maps. But as someone who was using maps to justify its size, that didn't work at all. The issues, so one map would have it being 5 kilometers, one had it 3 kilometers, one 12, one 15. They were so different and so varied, it was impossible to extrapolate an actual size. The one thing that could have solved this would be comparing it to Zunisha. I was hoping for that so much. Just give us some measure of scale compared to Zunisha. And the stupid elephant didn't even get close enough. So honestly, I've just really given up calculating any feats in Wano that even remotely address Onigashima. The horn that Zoro cut, Bajrang gun, the cannon blast thing that Kaido and Big Mom launched, Kaido lift the island in the sky. There are a lot of feats in this that revolve around Onigashima. They just don't make sense. The massive methods of calculation are just unreconcilable. I can't justify using any one of those because there's a very viable argument to be said that it's not. I think that the current accepted size of Onigashima is, at least on the Versus Wiki, is 40 kilometers. If I agree with that, that would be disingenuous to me because I don't think that makes sense to me. The math is flawless. It makes 100% sense. The person who calculated that is brilliant, honestly. He did so much work into this. It's great, it's brilliant. But I just can't, but because of all the other issues with this thing, I can't say, yes, let's use the highest result. Cite how accurate it could be, how mathematically perfect it is. I can't justify saying, let's use the highest possible result. I can't, guys, I can't. There's so many issues if he'd been 10% more consistent, we wouldn't have this issue. That's a lot of the problems I see with One Piece. If Oda was 10% more consistent, so many problems would just disappear off the face of the earth. So many problems. But Oda's not. He's very inconsistent. One of the most inconsistent authors I've ever seen. Guys, if you want a story that has great scale and power stealing, Toriko. Oh, it is so good. Yeah, there's jumps here and there, but at least characters are the consistent height, and you're actually given sizes for stuff. Like, the planet size told you exactly how to find that. The size of different areas, land masses, heights, speeds. Which whole thing is, oh, it's so good. Oh, I want to talk about Toriko so much, but there's reasons I can't. Because any conversation about Toriko always devolves into the singular comment. But I can't stand Onigashima as a whole. Because there's so many different... The skull. If we were just told whose skull that belonged to and how tall that person was, that's the issue solved. Remember the island that Buggy was on when he was looking for Captain John's treasure? And the giant skull on that island? If we knew how large that skull was, we could do a comparison. We can't because we don't know. Oh, and then there's the other maps of Wano. Like this map, where it has Onigashima being the size or larger than the mountain's base. I mean, okay, that doesn't make sense. But of course, that's out of proportion to the rest of the... Yeah, I will never ever touch Onigashima again. I've spent days trying to figure that out, and it's scarred me. I've spent similar amounts of time trying to figure out how big Fishman Island is, but then I figured it out. I was like, oh, that's so much simpler than I thought. I will never calculate a feat from Onigashima ever again. Sorry guys, I won't do it. Also because it's not necessary. There's other feats in the series that are way more powerful than anything that we got there. So, well, unless you use the higher result of the island of Onigashima and the Bajrang gun, which gets to be like 1/8 a ton, which is what the verse wiki has accepted. I disagree with that. Oh. I really wish I could buy that feat being planet level. I really do. I absolutely believe if you can do that, but that feat in particular does not. Oh. I'm done. Bye-bye.